The hum of the starship Aurora's Dawn filled the quiet of the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly, scattered like diamonds on black velvet. Captain Elias Trent stood by the window, hands behind his back, his reflection a mix of pride and exhaustion. His crew believed he was the kind of man who feared nothing, the kind who could command fleets and stare down alien dreadnoughts without blinking. But tonight he feared something far smaller, a memory. He whispered her name, almost afraid to hear it out loud. Lyra, the AI assistant chimed softly, mistaking his voice command. Captain, would you like to open the Lyra research logs? He froze for a moment, then nodded. Yes. The holographic display flickered to life, showing a woman's smiling face, short brown hair, bright eyes full of curiosity. Dr. Lyra Vance, the astrophysicist who had once saved humanity from a dying sun, and the woman Elias had loved before she disappeared 10 years ago. The crew didn't know this side of their captain, the side that kept a promise to a ghost. The logs played like echoes of a dream. Lyra's recorded voice spoke about wormholes, energy distortions, and something called Project Ether, a secret mission meant to open a stable gateway between galaxies. The project was meant to be humanity's next great step, but it ended in disaster. The gateway collapsed, the lab vanished, and so did Lyra. Everyone assumed she was gone forever. Everyone except Elias. He spent years climbing through ranks, fighting wars, commanding ships, all while searching for signs of her. And now the Aurora's Dawn had picked up a strange signal from deep space. A human signal. Coded with her encryption key, Commander Rhea Solis, his second-in-command, entered quietly. Captain, the signal's getting stronger. It's broadcasting from the Valora Expanse, uncharted space. But it's old. At least a decade. Elias turned toward her. Lock our course. We're going. Sir, that's dark space. No colonies, no beacon trails. If something goes wrong, Command won't find us. I'm not asking Command to find us, Elias said, his voice calm but firm. I'm asking you to trust me. She hesitated, then nodded. Aye, Captain. As the Aurora's Dawn entered FTL Drive, the stars blurred into streaks of white and blue. In the quiet hum of faster-than-light travel, Elias stared at Lyra's holographic face one more time. He remembered the last words she'd said before leaving Earth. If this works, Elias, we'll open a door to the future. But if it fails, promise me you won't stop looking at the stars. He had kept that promise. 3 days later, they reached the Valora Expanse, a strange void filled with swirling blue mist. The scanners flickered with static, struggling to make sense of the readings. Lieutenant Corin, the ship's pilot, frowned. Captain, this region's bending our sensors. It's like space itself is folding, Rhea added. That matches Lyra's Project Ether data. She theorized the gateway could distort reality itself. Elias watched the mist twist around them. Then we're close. Suddenly the ship jolted. A pulse of light rippled through the void, slamming into the hull. Alarms blared. Shields down to 60%. Rhea shouted. Hold position. Elias ordered. Scan that energy signature. Corin's eyes widened. Sir, it's human tech. And it's broadcasting Project Ether's frequency. For a moment, no one spoke. The impossible had become real. Elias felt his heartbeat quicken. Bring us closer. The ship drifted into the mist, guided by faint flickers of light. Ahead, a massive structure emerged. Torn metal, broken rings, and a shattered core surrounded by glowing debris. It was the Ether Gate, or what was left of it. Even in ruins, it was breathtaking. The rings were the size of cities, each etched with energy conduits still flickering after all these years. The crew stared in awe. For them, it was history. For Elias, it was personal. Rhea whispered. So this is where it happened. Elias said nothing. His gaze was fixed on the floating debris, his eyes searching for any sign, any clue. Then a faint ping came from the comms console. Captain, Corin said slowly, we're getting another signal. It's a distress beacon. Still active. Elias leaned forward. Origin? Inside the central core of the gate, the air grew heavy. Everyone knew what that meant. Lyra's last transmission had come from that core. They launched a small shuttle. Elias insisted on going himself despite Rhea's protests. Sir, if the structure collapses, then I'll collapse with it, he said softly, putting on his helmet. She deserves at least that. Rhea's jaw tightened, but she didn't argue. Bring her home, Captain. The shuttle glided through the wreckage. Broken panels drifted past like tombstones. The light from the dying gate painted everything in eerie shades of blue and silver. Inside his helmet, Elias could hear his own breathing. He felt the weight of years pressing down on him. All the battles. All the nights he'd spent staring at the stars, hoping to hear her voice again. Then, the scanner beeped. Human life sign detected, the AI said. Elias froze. Say that again. Human life sign. Low metabolic rate. Location. Central containment pod. His hands shook as he guided the shuttle toward the coordinates. He found the pod buried beneath twisted metal, half fused with the wreckage. Its glass was cracked but intact. And inside was her Lyra. She looked exactly as she had 10 years ago. Her body suspended in a stasis field, hair floating like strands of gold. Her eyes were closed, her expression peaceful as if she had just fallen asleep. Elias pressed his gloved hand to the glass, his throat tight. I told you I'd find you, he whispered. The AI reported pod power failing. Revival sequence necessary. He swallowed hard. Do it. The pod hummed, lights flickering as it reactivated after a decade of silence. Steam hissed. The chamber slowly opened with a soft exhale of air. Lyra's body stirred weakly. Her breathing returned, shallow but real. Elias caught her as she fell forward. Her eyes fluttered open, confused, unfocused. Then she saw him. Elias? She whispered. He smiled through tears he didn't know he still had. Welcome back, Doctor. She tried to speak, but only one word escaped. Future. Then she collapsed again, unconscious but alive. Back on the Aurora's dawn, the med team worked quickly. Lyra was stable, but her vitals showed long-term cryostasis trauma. Rhea watched silently as Elias sat beside her, refusing to leave her side. Corrin whispered, Captain found his ghost. Rhea replied quietly, No. He found his reason. Elias brushed a strand of hair from Lyra's face. He thought of all the years lost, all the unanswered questions. But none of that mattered now. She was here, his past, his present, and maybe, just maybe, his future. As the ship turned toward home, Elias looked out at the stars once more. For the first time in a decade, they didn't look lonely anymore. Lyra Vance lay on the bed, her skin pale but her breathing strong. Captain Elias Trent hadn't moved from her side since bringing her back from the ruins of the Ether Gate. For the crew, she was a miracle, a scientist lost 10 years ago, now alive again. For Elias, she was something deeper. She was the part of him he never stopped searching for. Rhea Solis entered quietly, holding a datapad. She's stable now, Captain. Neural scans show recovery. She might wake soon. Elias didn't take his eyes off Lyra. How long was she in stasis? 10 years, 4 months, Rhea replied. Cryosystems in that pod weren't designed for that long. She's lucky to be alive. He nodded slowly. She always found a way. Rhea hesitated, then added, Captain, Command has been sending priority messages. They want an update. Should I respond? Tell them the mission continues, Elias said simply. He didn't care about Command right now. All that mattered was her. Hours later, the soft beeping of the heart monitor changed rhythm. Elias straightened immediately. Lyra's fingers twitched. Her lips moved slightly, whispering something he couldn't hear. Then, with a deep breath, her eyes opened, the same bright, curious eyes he remembered, full of wonder and confusion all at once. Elias? She whispered, voice weak but steady. He leaned closer, smiling softly. I'm here, Lyra. You're safe. You're on my ship. Her eyes moved slowly across the room. 10 years, she murmured, as if remembering. The gate. Did it collapse? Elias nodded. It did. We found the wreckage. And you. For a moment she was silent. Then she smiled faintly. You kept your promise. He laughed quietly. I did. You told me not to stop looking at the stars. She closed her eyes again, tears forming. And you found me among them. When she was strong enough to walk, Lyra joined Elias on the observation deck. The stars glowed softly beyond the window. The same stars she once studied, now changed by time. It's strange, she said quietly. For me, it feels like I closed my eyes yesterday. For everyone else, 10 years passed. Elias looked at her. The galaxy's changed. Humanity's stronger now. Faster ships, smarter AIs. But some things never changed. Like you still chasing impossible dreams, she teased gently. He smiled. You built most of those dreams. Lyra laughed softly but then grew serious. Elias, when the gate collapsed, I saw something before I blacked out. A pulse, a pattern of light. It wasn't random. It was a signal. A signal from what? Elias asked. From the other side, she said. I think something answered us. Elias frowned. You mean intelligent life? She nodded slowly. Maybe not like us, but it knew we were there, and if the signal is still active. Her eyes turned toward the stars. They might still be waiting. That night, the ship's sensors detected strange activity behind them, faint pulses of energy following their path. At first, the crew assumed it was interference from the gate debris, but the pulses continued. Rhythmic, organized, almost like heartbeat echoes. Lieutenant Corrin analyzed the data. Captain, those readings match the gate's energy pattern, but they're moving, following us. Rhea frowned. Could be a residual field. Elias shook his head. No, it's intentional. Someone, or something, is tracking us. Lyra stepped forward. If it's from the other side, they might be trying to communicate. The crew exchanged nervous looks. Elias turned to her. You think it's friendly? I think it's curious, she said simply. The same way we were. Over the next few days, the strange pulses continued. They seemed harmless, faint bursts of light and energy that flickered across the ship's sensors. But each pulse carried data, fragments of code. Lyra and the engineering team worked endlessly to decode it. Late one night in the dim light of the research lab, Lyra finally managed to unlock a sequence. It's a pattern, she said excitedly as Elias entered. Look, this code repeats every 13 seconds. It's not random, it's language. Elias leaned over her shoulder. Can you translate it? I'm trying, she said. It's not human, but it uses mathematical symmetry, like music. The computer processed the data, and then a low hum filled the room. A series of harmonic tones that resonated through the hull. It sounded like a song made of light. Lyra's eyes widened. It's beautiful. They're not just communicating. They're singing. Elias watched her face light up, just like it used to when she made a new discovery. For a moment, the years between them vanished. But then the ship trembled. Captain to bridge. Rhea's voice came through the comms. Something's emerging behind us. Elias and Lyra ran. On the main screen, a shimmering distortion appeared in the void, a ripple of space folding inward. Then slowly a massive object began to materialize. Not a ship, something different. It looked like crystal and metal woven together, glowing with faint blue veins of light. Corrin's voice trembled. Captain, it's not human, but it's copying our power signature, Lyra whispered. It's mimicking us, learning how we move. The ship pulsed again, sending out another wave of light. The hull of Aurora's Dawn responded with faint blue sparks, like a reflection. They're trying to sync with us, Lyra said quickly. Don't fire. Rhea looked alarmed. You can't be sure it's peaceful. Elias hesitated. The instinct of a soldier screamed danger, but he looked at Lyra, the woman who had always believed knowledge could bridge fear, and he trusted her. Hold fire, he said firmly. Let's see what they want. The alien structure stabilized a few kilometers away. Then slowly a beam of light extended toward the ship, not as a weapon, but as a projection. Within the beam, a figure appeared, not solid, but luminous, like an echo shaped from light. It resembled a human silhouette but constantly shifted, part mechanical, part energy. And when it spoke, the voice was calm and layered, as if many voices spoke together. You opened the door, you reached across the void, we heard your song. The crew froze. Lyra stepped forward. You heard the ether gate? Yes, The entity replied. Your light touched our sky. You built a bridge of stars. Then it fell. Lyra's eyes filled with awe. You saved me, didn't you? When the gate collapsed, your light was fading. We preserved it until your kind could return. Elias took a slow breath. Then why follow us? Because the bridge remains broken, the entity said, but the echo still lives. Inside her. Everyone looked at Lyra. She stared back, confused. Inside me? Your mind holds the key. You touched the source. The projection began to fade, its light dimming. The future depends on the memory you carry. Then it vanished. Silence filled the bridge. No one moved. No one spoke. Finally, Rhea broke the silence. What did that mean? Lyra's hands trembled slightly. I think, when the gate collapsed, some of its energy fused with me. It preserved my consciousness. That's how I survived. Elias stared at her, realization dawning. You're connected to it. That's why they said the echo lives in you. Lyra nodded slowly. If they're right, then I might be the only one who can reopen the gate. Elias frowned. We're not risking your life again. She turned to him, eyes shining with quiet determination. It's not about me anymore, Elias. It's about the future, the one we both hoped for. Later that night, Elias stood alone in the observation deck, staring at the alien ship still glimmering in the distance. Lyra joined him, silent for a while before speaking. You don't have to protect me from everything, she said softly. He smiled faintly. It's kind of my thing. She looked up at the stars. When I built the ether gate, I thought I was opening a path for humanity. But maybe it was opening a path for them to reach us too. Elias turned to her. And now we have to decide whether to finish what you started. Lyra met his gaze. Together. This time. For the first time in years, Elias didn't feel like he was chasing the past. He was standing in it, and maybe building the future. Outside, the alien vessel pulsed once more, sending out a soft wave of light that shimmered across the ship's hull, almost like a heartbeat, a promise between stars. The Aurora's dawn drifted in the silent expanse of the Valora expanse, the alien vessel hovering nearby like a guardian made of light. Captain Elias Trent and Dr. Lyra Vance stood on the observation deck, watching the pulses of the alien energy ripple across the void. The air between them carried the weight of unspoken questions, the future of humanity and the future of the woman he had searched for a decade. Do you think they'll let us reopen the gate? Elias asked quietly. Lyra's eyes reflected the glow of the alien vessel. They will. But it's not just a bridge for travel. It's a test. It shows whether humanity is ready to meet the galaxy beyond our stars. Elias nodded, feeling the same mix of excitement and fear he'd always carried in battle. Then we'll have to be ready. Together. Back in the lab, Lyra worked feverishly, assisted by her team and guided remotely by the alien pulses. Lines of glowing code filled the screens, forming patterns she recognized from her decade-old Project Ether notes. These patterns, they're like the gate's original blueprint, she explained to Elias, who watched over her shoulder. But now it's evolving. They've added something. An intelligence almost alive. Elias frowned. Are you sure we can control it? Lyra hesitated, then nodded. I survived once because it preserved me. Now if we work with it, we can finish what we started. But we must trust it. And each other. Hours passed. The alien vessel maintained its distance, its pulsing light a steady rhythm that mirrored Lyra's calculations. As she worked, she occasionally glanced at Elias. He didn't interfere. He simply stood beside her, a silent anchor. Finally, she leaned back and whispered, It's ready. Elias's heart skipped. Then let's open the bridge. With steady hands, Lyra activated the final sequence. The ship trembled as the energy of the Valora expanse converged on the Aurora's dawn. Lights of blue and silver swirled across the hull. Outside, the alien vessel mirrored the motion, sending a surge of energy toward the gate's coordinates. Slowly, the long-destroyed gate began to reconstruct itself, the shattered rings reforming, glowing faintly but steadily. "It's working," Lyra breathed. Elias watched in awe. "It's beautiful." As the gate stabilized, a new challenge arose. The alien vessel projected a series of images directly into Lyra's mind. Visions of distant galaxies, strange worlds, and civilizations she had never imagined. "They're showing us what's out there," Lyra whispered. "They want us to understand why this bridge exists. The universe is bigger than we ever dreamed. And if we fail, it could collapse again irreversibly." Elias took her hand, feeling the warmth that had never faded despite the years apart. "Then we won't fail. We'll make it right," Lyra smiled softly. "Together." The first trial was simple but terrifying. The Aurora's dawn sent a probe through the reactivated gate. The probe disappeared into a white shimmer of light. Moments later, a signal returned, carrying information beyond any human database. Alien technology, star maps, and energy signatures that defied known physics. Rhea glanced at Elias. "Captain, it's real. We can really go through," Lyra nodded. "And the gate is stable enough for a human crew, but it will demand coordination. Any mistake could trap us on the other side." Elias's jaw tightened. "Then we'll be precise. Every calculation, every maneuver. No one leaves until we all get back, including you." Lyra looked at him, her eyes softening. "I never left you behind, Elias, even when you didn't see me." The moment of truth arrived. The crew readied themselves. Corin piloted the ship carefully, each system humming in sync with the gate's energy. Lyra activated the final harmonics, a sequence of lights and tones that matched the alien pattern. The gate pulsed and the ship began to slip through the threshold of space. For a heartbeat, the stars vanished. The Aurora's dawn floated in a corridor of light, the laws of physics bending around them. The crew held their breath as time seemed to stretch, the very fabric of space shimmering and twisting. Then on the other side, the universe unfolded. They emerged into a region of space unlike anything they had ever seen. Nebulae glowed with colors beyond the visible spectrum. Planets spun in unusual orbits and strange energy streams curved gracefully through the void. The alien vessel greeted them, shimmering closer. Its light seemed warmer now, more familiar. Lyra looked at Elias. "We did it. The bridge is open." Elias exhaled, relief and awe mingling. "We actually did it." Rhea spoke quietly from the bridge. "Captain, these readings. It's unlike anything humanity has encountered. This could change everything." Elias nodded, but his gaze returned to Lyra. "It already has," he said softly. Exploration began cautiously. They scanned nearby planets, finding evidence of life, some microbial, some more complex. The alien intelligence guided them subtly, showing safe paths and warning of hazards. Every discovery was a triumph, proof that humanity could survive, going to even thrive, in this vast universe. Lyra worked tirelessly, decoding the gate's energy and learning from the alien patterns. Each night she would sit with Elias on the observation deck, sharing her thoughts, their hands brushing. "You know," she said one night, "for 10 years, I dreamed of this moment. But I never imagined it would feel like home." Elias smiled. "Home isn't just a place, Lyra. It's wherever you are." She leaned on his shoulder, and for the first time, neither of them thought about the years they had lost. But the universe had more lessons in store. 1 week after their arrival, the gate pulsed unexpectedly, an alarm from the alien vessel. "It's a warning," Lyra said. "Something is approaching. Something large, powerful." The crew prepared for the unknown. Sensors detected a massive object, a dark moving silhouette against the bright nebulae. It wasn't the alien vessel, it was something else. Elias's hand hovered near the console. "We'll face it like we face everything, together." Lyra nodded. "The gate can protect us if we synchronize, but it will require absolute trust." Elias looked into her eyes. "Then we trust each other." When the massive object approached, the gate reacted. Energy flared around the Aurora's dawn, forming a protective bubble that mirrored the alien vessel's light. The approaching force hesitated, scanning, perhaps sensing the intelligence guiding the humans. Lyra activated the gate's harmonics. A wave of light shot outward and the massive object stopped. Slowly it turned, revealing itself, a vessel of dark crystalline structure seemingly alive with energy flowing like veins across its surface. Lyra whispered. It's curious. Not hostile. Like it's studying us. The pulse repeated and the alien vessel's light responded. Slowly the dark ship aligned itself, almost bowing in acknowledgement. Elias exhaled. It's the first contact. Lyra smiled faintly. And humanity made it. Not through weapons, but through understanding. Days passed. The gate remained stable. The alien vessel guided them, teaching, showing, and helping them explore. Elias and Lyra grew closer, their bond stronger than ever. Humanity's first step into the wider universe was no longer a dream. And in that infinite expanse of stars, Elias realized something profound. The past, the present, and the future were no longer separate. They were all connected. Lyra turned to him one quiet evening, her eyes reflecting the multicolored nebulae. Elias, the future we hoped for? He smiled softly. It's right here, with you. She reached for his hand, and for the first time in 10 years, everything felt complete. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. Humanity's journey had only begun, and with the bridge open, the universe awaited. The aurora's dawn sailed forward, carrying not just explorers but hope. The proof that humanity could reach beyond its limits, guided by courage, curiosity, and love. And Elias knew without doubt that Lyra was his past, his present, and everything he had ever hoped for in the future.